I'm hitting the road again for more grand days out around our beautiful country.
The sun is shining, the birds are singing.
And as always, taking me every mile of the way, my hard-working little camper van. Named after one of my favourite people, Helen Mirren.
Are you happy, Helen? Yes, I'm having a lovely time.
She's the perfect travelling companion. For great adventures on foot.
I've got my own boat.
All across the country. I'll be going all out.
What a treat!
To find stunning places.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Explore hidden treasures.
Nick, look at this place.
And meet wonderful people.
They're very good, Jimmy.
It's a celebration of some amazing sights.
Oh, I love it.
Both big.
It's the vastness of it.
And small. So come and join me. On my grand days out. This time, I'm celebrating all things countryside. Helen and I have a new adventure. And there's a Calman mega mix, as I remember some of our wonderful countryside trips together.
You get quite fast. You get quite...
The great British countryside has never let us down.
The sun is shining, the birds are singing.
With its glorious views.
Wow.
And its wonderful characters. It's a memorable collection of grand days out. I really love the countryside. It's beautiful, calming, and it's full of wonderful nature and history. It's a great escape when life gets busy. And there's so much joy to be had. I mean, just look at it.
That's extraordinary.
Today, I've carved out a little time for a mini countryside adventure with Helen. We're in South Queensferry, at a place said to be Scotland's finest stately home, Hopetoun House. As country retreats go, I think this one will certainly do.
Well, to begin with, this is a fairly impressive staircase as you enter the house. It's made for drama and high kicks. You can't say fairer than that. Can you imagine having a party and everyone having to come up these stairs? You know, this is just my country estate. You should see what I have in the city.
This stunning stately home has been in the Hope family since the late 1600s. That's 11 generations. The present Earl of Hopetoun and his family live here right now. Set in 100 acres of parkland with views of the Forth Bridges, there's a lot to explore, and I'm starting with the house.
I'm moving this now into the state apartments. These rooms here were designed, as they say, en filade.
Which means the rooms are all in line with each other. A consequence of the design was that only the most important people ended up in the final room.
And because I'm important, I get to go further on. Excuse me.
And yes, you can come with me.
Wow! This is pretty incredible.
The walls of this room are lined with silk. It's arranged in the parade style, encouraging guests to move freely beneath the magnificent art.
And you would parade around, because the point, kind of in those days, in stately homes like this, is you would get dressed up in your finery and you would parade yourself. That's partly what happened. You would come in your full dresses and parade. Oh, I quite like it. What it's also got, though, is this magnificent ceiling above me. And I have been told that the best way to see it is to lie on the floor. Now, that's either entirely correct or a joke someone's playing on me. So let's see if it's true. I'm in Scotland's finest stately home, and I'm about to lie on the floor. My mother will be watching this, distraught.
Sorry, Mum, but you can only parade for so long.
Okay. I made that noise you make when you get older. So from here, you do get a much better view, obviously, of the ceiling. So there's a kind of a golden bird there, some fruit, and I can just make out, it was the face of what looks slightly like a slightly upset gentleman.
I doubt the demure ladies of Hopetoun House did this back in the day.
It's certainly an unusual view. Question is really how long it's going to take me to get up from here. You mustn't be intimidated by the countryside. You know, you don't need to be an experienced hill walker or hiker to have fun. Look at me. I'm lying on the floor of a stately home and I'm having a lovely time.
Sometimes I want to do something a bit more active and a bit wilder. Which reminds me of the time I went hunting for treasure in Devon.
So I'm about to go letterboxing. I've been told I need a map and I need a compass. And I think it's sort of like a treasure hunt. I suspect I will either be brilliant or appalling.
Letterboxing was devised on Dartmoor in the mid-19th century as a way for walkers to leave messages for each other. And apparently, it's since developed into an extremely popular local pastime.
Hi, Pat. How are you?
Hi, Sue. How are you?
I'm very good. Lovely to meet you.
A lovely day.
Pat Reid, who's been letterboxing for 36 years, is going to show me how it's done.
Can you just tell me what that is?
It's a bit like a cross between orienteering and a treasure hunt.
I love it already,
Yeah,
Pat.
well, there you go. You go and find what is called a letterbox, which is nowadays in a sort of pot. And you find them under rocks and hidden in banks and various other places. And inside there's a stamp that you take a copy of, then you put it back and you hide it better than how you found it.
No one can say for sure how many letterboxes are on Dartmoor, but Pat herself has collected around 50,000 stamps in her time.
Can you spot who's letterboxing and who's just walking?
Well, yeah, poles for poking. You have to have a pole
so
to
is
poke.
this a poking pole?
It's a poking pole. It's absolutely vital because adders sometimes lurk.
Yes,
You
adders.
see?
Yes.
And you've got to make sure that when you poke in the hole you think this thing is in, there's nothing lurking there.
The adder is Britain's only native venomous snake. But if Pat isn't worried, nor am I.
You have sent me a letterbox, a clue, have you not?
I have indeed. And the clue is written there.
Thank you, Pat. You'll find your letterbox under the centre rock of 4 large rocks. White house almost in line with fence corner, 5 paces from a kite-shaped rock with a small hollow in the top. Right, let's get our rucksacks, let's get our poking poles, and let's get going, Pat.
Well, we Calmans do love a treasure hunt, but I'll reserve judgment on the adders.
So, north is that way. That is the map now in the right direction. So the cross you've put is over there on the right-hand side.
Absolutely.
I mean,
Well done.
I'm not saying I'm Bear Grylls, but I'm pretty close to it.
I may not have Bear's have-a-go attitude, but I do have a rather fancy compass.
You follow the thingy-me-bob and you go up the thingy-me-bob.
And I'm not afraid to use it.
Professional. Let's go, Pat.
I sense Pat is impressed, but then it's easy to be impressed around here.
Wow. This is amazing, Pat.
Absolutely.
Hound Tor is one of more than 160 tors on Dartmoor, and the view from the top is utterly spectacular.
Where's everything?
Oh, well, Torquay would be more over there.
So it's over there, right?
This is more sort of Exeter.
You can see for miles. But what I'm looking for should be much, much nearer.
There's the White House, Pat.
Oh, yes, so it is.
That's the White House.
That was one of Pat's clues. We must be close.
Kite-shaped rock.
With a hollow in the top.
According to the clues, the letterbox should be just a few steps away.
So now you do your...
5 paces.
Yes.
Pat's a great sport.
I should stop there.
Well, to be fair, she knows she can't go home until I've found it.
Go poking.
But she's wisely letting me do the next bit on my own.
It's okay. I don't want to put my hand in because of adders.
No, well, it won't be now. No self-respecting adder will be in there now.
Yes, but it's the less respectable adders I worry about.
Over, go on, over.
Okay. We found it.
Absolutely.
That's marvellous.
Pat's letterbox is only the latest of many, many thousands that have been found on this beautiful moor over the past 150 years.
Oh, this is wonderful.
So you will be the first in the book.
And I'm using my own special stamp to mark the occasion.
I've got a sheep
Oh, how lovely.
because I've got a sheep called Jason Statham in my van.
Has it come out all right?
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, I love his woolly
He's
jumper.
got a jumper on.
Fantastic.
And now I can take a print with Pat's letterbox stamp to mark my visit to the wonderful Hound Tor.
It's a combination of hill walking, treasure hunting, and collecting things.
It's quite enjoyable, actually. It can be horrible when you can't find anything in filthy weather, I tell you, but it is good. It's good fun.
It's wonderful.
Well, on a day like this, it's difficult to believe there are anything other than blue skies here. Back at Hopetoun House, I'm relaxing into the genteel life upstairs.
The thing about country houses like this is everything's quite large, isn't it? I mean, this is an enormous dining table. I could fit Helen round this. Does make me feel strangely powerful, though, to be sitting at the head. Bit impractical if you're having dinner for one, though, isn't it? Can you pass the salt, please?
Coming up, I head downstairs where I have to keep moving.
Well, if his lordship's waiting for his butter.
And I remember a beautiful country walk where moving was a bit of a struggle.
Bob, come on, darling. Come on, darling. Nope.
I'm looking back at some of my favourite countryside moments, remembering some of the places Helen and I have been together. But I'm also having a grand day out in the countryside at Hopetoun House. With its magnificent historic grounds, it's billed as one of Scotland's finest stately homes. And Fiona is going to show me the ropes in the servery.
Hello.
Oh, hello, Susan.
How are you?
Fine.
What an outfit.
Well, yes, it's not an everyday outfit, but I am as the head housekeeper. So I show people off the Victorian side of the house.
What my attention is drawn to very quickly is this here.
Yes.
Now, this must be to summon the servants, correct?
Absolutely. Huge house like this. The lords and ladies aren't going to wander around looking for servants to feed.
Of course not. The servant
tea
comes
and
to
coffee.
you. The servant comes to you, darling. You don't go to the servant.
Yes.
These bells were rung to summon staff all over the house.
Young ladies' maid's room, west door. Let me just have a... I'm too short. Can you reach that?
Yes, I can. I could just get that one going for you.
Her ladyship's boudoir. And what about this one here, the clock room?
Clock room.
So they're all different sizes and sound slightly different. Is that deliberate?
Yes, that's because every servant would get used to the sound of the bell that they had to answer. So they're all different sizes, so they sound differently, especially if you were a servant who couldn't read or write. So the bells are they wouldn't necessarily be within your sight, but you would get to know that bell very well.
So if you couldn't read,
yes,
or if you were slightly further away, you would get used to the sound.
That's it.
So one servant would be the west door, one servant would be the clock
That's
room.
it,
Because there would have
absolutely.
been a lot of servants.
Yes, exactly.
In this household.
And I've spied something peculiar in the corner.
So tell me, what's this It looks kind of like a sausage maker. What is it?
It is a very strange looking object, but we still have these in our homes today. It is an early 20th century original model soda stream. So if you look...
That's a soda stream.
It is.
So whilst most of us had to wait till the 1980s, they've been adding fizz to their drinks at Hopeton since the early 1900s.
You'll see that's where you would have put your soda bottle for your carbonated water.
That's a soda stream.
It is.
A house the size of Hopeton would have an army of people keeping it spick and span. But in the countryside, they had to be virtually self-sufficient in many of their day-to-day needs. Fiona's teaching me how to make a household staple by hand.
How does one make butter?
Well, something that we use just to show people how hard it was is the small domestic butter churn. We've got double cream and we've got gold top milk. Nice, thick, creamy
Gold
milk.
top milk.
Yes,
Oh, it's been a long
only the
time.
best.
And so what do you do with it
So
then?
you just want to turn that handle, just quite vigorous.
Vigorous force.
Yes, imagine his lordship's waiting for his
Oh,
his
well, if
tea
his
and
lordship's
toast.
waiting for his butter, that's a phrase never uttered in my house.
Now just do that for about an hour.
Okay.
This would have been a regular chore, and I dare say that they didn't need an arm day at the gym after that.
Right, so after I've done this for about an hour, what happens?
Well, then we have to separate the butter that we have in there from the buttermilk.
And behold, a butter onion.
Wonderful. Now,
You wouldn't serve that to his lordship,
Oh,
though, would you?
absolutely not.
Heavens.
So what I've got here for you to use is a pair of butter pats, or Scotch hands, as they're known.
Scotch hands.
And now for the best bit.
And what you're going to do is just beat that butter. It's just a good way of just venting some anger some days.
Yeah, okay.
So now what you want to do is turn over to the smooth sides.
Smooth sides.
And then you start shaping it into a nice rectangle. I think you've done this before. That looks wonderful.
Do you know, I haven't, but I've watched a lot of Downton Abbey.
Now, if it is going up to the dining room, you want it to look even more special. We've got an H for Hopeton House, so if you can get...
So it's a butter stamp.
It's a butter stamp to mark it for the house. But if you want to try and get 2 H's for Hopeton House, then that would be fabulous.
Right, time to limber up.
Now, the problem is I want to really make sure I get... Oh, it's awful! It's awful! Don't look at me! Don't look at me!
I think that's, for the first time, that's very good.
I am sorry, but I didn't quite nail that.
It still looks amazing.
Every day's a school day.
I'll never look at butter the same way again. It's great to be out and about in the countryside, and one of my favourite adventures was in Warwickshire. This beautiful part of the world seems to be home to this beautiful bunch of quirky characters.
Hi there. The alpacas are absolutely wonderful creatures.
And they're all looked after by Tom and Andy Stevens-Moore on their 64-acre farm.
I mean, it's like, in some ways, a 1980s edition of Smash Hits, isn't it?
We thought that maybe the ones who have got more personality needed a bigger haircut.
Genuinely, I think I had a poster of you on my wall.
Spandau Ballet.
Yeah. There'll be kids watching this going, who's Spandau Ballet?
Ask your mum. Tom and Andy started their unique farm not only to live the good life, but also to fulfil their dreams of using animals to help people. They run alpaca walks and petting sessions with these calming creatures, and not just at their farm.
We take them into care homes, respite care, dementia care.
Bless you. It's that combination, isn't it, of being next to an animal. Bless you again, my darling. You're like me with hay fever. But of also being in this beautiful...
That's Bob.
There's another one, Bob. There's another one. There was another one. Do you want to look up? That's what I always do. He's just going to sneeze on me. I can tell.
Sneezes aside, this lot are a joy to hang out with, and apparently it's even better to walk with them.
Do they enjoy being walked, though, as well, the alpacas?
Very
Do they
much
enjoy
so.
it?
Yeah, they do. Otherwise, they wouldn't do it.
So if they don't want to do it,
They don't
they
do
don't
won't,
do
or
it.
they won't.
I mean, that's the way it should be.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah.
Do they enjoy contact with humans?
Yeah, some more than others, but that's the same as people.
Sounds like alpacas and I might be kindred spirits.
Tell me, are they gentle creatures?
They are really gentle creatures. They're a herd animal. They look out for each other. These are all males in here, and generally they all get on absolutely great.
Lads, 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 yeah. So who have you chosen for me to walk with?
Bob, with the hay fever.
Are you joking?
You're walking
Sneezy Bob?
Sneezy Bob, yeah.
Let's do it. Okay.
There were 34 other non-sneezy alpacas to choose from, but I'm happy to give Bob a break. The pollen count today is not to be sneezed at.
Are you ready for a walk, my darling? I think you're very, very lovely. Here we go, Bob, darling. Tell you what, Bob's got a fair turn of speed on him. Yeah, if you want to have a wee munch, you have a wee munch.
He's an alpaca after my own heart.
Come on, sweetie pie, this way. Oh, you're not wanting it, are you?
I was warned that alpacas can be stubborn, and today Bob's not in the mood for a walk. Maybe all that sneezing's tired him out.
Come on, Bob, on we go.
Bob, come on, darling. Come on, darling. Oh, nope, nope, nope.
I think Bob's put his foot firmly down, all 4 of them.
Yep, that's it.
I like his style.
Bob, my pal, just wants to eat grass. You have to understand that you may roam free with the alpacas, or you may be the person standing with an alpaca while they're eating. And that is absolutely fine, because they do what they want. And I'm still having a lovely time.
Luckily for me, my travelling companion loves to roam free. She's the best, and she's been with me for all my favourite grand days out.
I'd like you to say hello to my wonderful camper van, Helen Mirren. Let's go.
It's always an adventure, and from the first time we met, our relationship has been exciting.
So, let's go on the road. Let's go on the road. Oh, no. Oh, no.
She also lets me sit back, enjoy the views, and take some time to think. Whether that's about local wildlife.
Wild boar, of course, famously the cousins of the cam boar, who like to listen to classical music and discuss literature. Wild boar listen to punk rock and don't care what you think of them.
Or world-class views.
It doesn't matter how often I travel around. I am always surprised and a little bit stunned by how beautiful places are. I really am.
Very practical concerns.
And I'll tell you something without sounding boring. This is a very good road. I am that person. I'll go home and my wife will say, how was your trip to Devon? And I'll say, the roads actually were very good, to be honest with you. Very well tended.
And creative inspirations.
And I think you'll agree I've managed to create a masterpiece.
She always gets me where I need to go.
A wee dry mouth, because I'm driving onto a ferry. Oh, God. Oh, my stomach went there. Oh, my stomach went there. Well done, Helen. We got on the ferry. Nothing happened.
Helen and I were just meant to be.
You okay, Helen?
Yeah, I'm all right.
It's a match made in heaven. Coming up, I get nostalgic for summer adventures.
All I keep thinking about, though, is a shampoo advert. But I'd like to get in there and go, it's just all natural.
And at Hopetoun House, I'm put to work.
This is probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my entire career.
I'm on a pint-sized grand day out with Helen, remembering some of our great countryside adventures. We're in Queensferry in the Scottish countryside, exploring the house and grounds of a place known as Scotland's finest stately home. Hopetoun House is set in 100 acres of parkland, and Ranger Emma looks after it.
Emma, lovely to meet you.
Hi.
Gorgeous place, this.
It's not bad.
It's beautiful. It's not a bad place to work. You're the ranger here. Tell me, what does that mean? What do you do?
So it means that I essentially manage the 100 acres of grounds that we have here at Hopetoun.
So you do pretty much everything, right? Anything and anything that's required around
Yeah,
here.
yeah, I cover...
Fixing a tree, building a bird box, any of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, basically.
You love it though, don't you?
I do, yeah. It's as close to my dream job as you're ever going to get.
Really?
These grounds are kept in a style that's sympathetic to the original design of the estate, as it was in the early 18th century.
You're trying to maintain this lovely place kind of the way it was intended to be.
In a sense, yes. There were a lot more people working here back in the day.
So how many people would have been maintaining this kind of area?
So in the records I found in 1822, so 200 years ago, there were 20 groundsmen.
Did they have any tricks in order to maintain like this beautiful lawn? I take it they didn't have a lawnmower for that.
No, they would have a herd of sheep, and they would have a shepherd and a shepherdess herding the sheep along the lawn, and the shepherdess would come behind and sweep up the droppings. So yeah, they did scythe them as well. They had scythes, but the sheep.
But they also used the natural, the sheep flock. And oh my goodness. I'll follow you. Let's
okay,
tip through
let's
the
go this
daffodils.
way. We'll avoid the bulbs.
I'm not going to hurt the bulbs.
No problem.
I'm going to give Emma a hand.
We're so dainty, Emma.
I really hope it doesn't involve sheep.
Emma, I've been provided with safety equipment and I'm holding 2 planks of wood.
Yes.
What's going on?
We are at the round pond here, and it was designed as an ornamental pond. So the sides are completely steep with a wee lip over the top of it. So any frogs or toads that might breed in here, all the little froglings and toadlings can't then get up the side of the pond and over the top.
Don't make me think about little froglings and toadlings not being able to get out.
So this is why we've put together our own little homemade, we call them frog ladders.
Today we have to position them, and Fiona needs my help.
Yeah.
Just
So it takes a bit of, like, if you hold on to that, because one of the things is actually having someone else to hold the top of the string to keep the top of it, and you basically stick it in the water. And put it down into the mud. It takes a bit of wiggling, and if you pull that as tight as you can, and there's a bit there, so I hold it here.
Oh, God.
And you put it,
right, hold on a second.
in as close, as close to
don't
the
apologise.
stone as you can, and then put it in as far as it'll go, and it'll make the lawn mowers, not the sheep this time, and they will then see that that's there and not run
damage
over
it.
and not damage
And
it.
so what we've got there is, we've got a frog ladder.
We've got a frog
to help
ladder.
the little babies.
Yes.
Toadsies and frogsies. Be able to get back out again and then get safely back in again.
Yeah.
This is probably the most rewarding thing I've ever done in my entire career, is to help the little toads and the frogs. Thank you so much
No
for
problem
that.
at all.
All this hard work outside in nature is making me feel nostalgic for a warmer adventure Helen and I had in Cornwall at the Eden Project. This tropical garden is housed in a crater the size of 30 football pitches. It was home to a clay pit for around 200 years. But in 2001, it was transformed into this ecological wonder.
When you walk in, the first thing that hits you is the heat. The humidity hits you. I'm like a bit of cheese that's been left out in the sun. A thin layer of sweat all over me.
With trees and plants from South America, Africa, Asia and Australia, Eden really does feel like paradise.
But you can hear the birds and the water, and it's like a sensory overload. And I mean, who knew in Cornwall you could see this? It's the rainforest.
And the Herculean task of looking after all these incredible plants falls to Catherine Cutler and her team.
Hi, Catherine.
She's been working here since the project opened over 20 years ago.
I can tell you're someone who has a passion for this place. Why are you so passionate about this place and what it does?
For most people, this is the closest they're going to get to visiting a rainforest. And if it allows people to have that connection...
Why it's important. Why we should care about it.
And rainforests are so important because they actually control the climate.
I've got a herb garden, and that's difficult enough to get my basil to keep going. Have you had any problems growing any of these?
You need the right conditions. So we're controlling the temperature and we were controlling the humidity. But now our forest is creating its own humidity, so we don't need to increase it ourselves.
All manner of fruit and veg thrive here. Catherine is letting me harvest some natural ginger.
Oh my word, look at this!
And simply take it home, scrub it up, and off you go. Fresh ginger.
So, the ginger that you buy in the shops, this is how it grows?
And you could plant a ginger that you buy in the shops.
No way, are you saying I could? Really?
You need the heat, the humidity, warmth, good light, sunny windowsill.
I love it. Thank you so much, Catherine. Bye!
There's so much to explore in this tropical paradise. Rainwater is captured, sanitised and used throughout this eco-friendly marvel.
Oh, that is beautiful. There's a gorgeous waterfall creating a natural breeze, which is so refreshing here. All I keep thinking about, though, is a shampoo advert. So I'd like to get in there and go, it's just all natural.
And to complete the feeling of being in an actual rainforest, it even has its own clouds.
The only time I've seen clouds like this is when I've been flying through them. And I've always wanted, you know, when you're in a plane and you think, I could just reach out and I could touch the clouds. And that's what I'm doing now. Or I'm in an episode of Stars in Their Eyes. Tonight, Matthew, I'm going to be Meatloaf.
But to take in the scale of this project, you need to get up high.
Don't look down, Susan. Just look up. Just look up. Don't look down. Oh, my goodness. Oh!
I'm not known for my love of heights, but today I'm feeling brave.
OK, take your time. You can do it.
The Rainforest Lookout is a viewing platform more than 160 feet high, taller than the Tower of London.
Nearly there. Nearly there.
I'm glad I persevered.
Woo! Woo-hoo! It's worth it. It's worth it. It is high, it is hot, but it is exceptional to see it from here. It is worth it. You take it slow, you shuffle, and you'll get there.
And if you make it up here, take your time with the view. One of the lovely things about Cornwall is that no one wants to rush you. Sometimes Helen and I go off-piste. Once in Devon, we came across an unusual sign.
Now, hang on a second. Gnome Reserve. To the gnomes! They're everywhere. They're everywhere you look.
That's because there are around 1,000 of the little fellas here.
That gnome's bigger than me. I had a dream like this once, I think, after eating a lot of cheese.
But it's wonderful. And I love gnomes anyway. I've got gnomes in my garden. But look at them. Of all the signs I've ever followed in my life, this is the best one.
Helen and I have enjoyed adventures up and down the country. And sometimes the amazing places I go to set my imagination running. Whether that's to 1920s funnies or classic 80s pop. Sometimes there's a mystery to be solved.
Is it you? Countess Hermione Sinclair.
Or a childhood fantasy to be relived. And my love of old school glamour can always be piqued. That looks like a cue for Action Calman. It's amazing the fun you can have in the great outdoors when you put your mind to it. Coming up, I meet a world champion.
That was very professional.
And take an unscheduled spin. I've had some wonderful grand days out around the great British countryside, and I'm reminiscing about those times. One of them was when Helen and I were in the wonderful Wye Valley, and I got to grips with a local tradition. Armed with a big old chunk of double Gloucester, Helen and I are on a mission to find out more about the unusual pastime of cheese rolling.
I'm slightly regretting the cheese purchase because I don't mean to be rude, but slightly whiffy at the moment, which I suppose is the point of cheese, though, so I can't really complain.
We're on our way to a local landmark, the Scar Bandstand. It has a gentle slope on which to give the sport a go. A far cry from the near vertical incline cheese rolling is normally practised upon.
Don't worry, the cheese isn't for the wild boar.
Meeting me today is the ultimate cheese rolling guru and record-breaking 22 times champion, Chris Anderson.
Hi, Chris.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Do you mind if I put this down here?
No, you carry on.
It's really nice to meet you because you are an expert in cheese rolling. So the cheese is released on a very steep hill and you have to chase the cheese.
Yeah. Cheese goes on 3 and then the runners go on 4.
That's my favourite thing I've ever heard. Cheese goes on 3, runners go on 4.
Yeah.
The tradition of cheese rolling is believed to date back over 600 years. Some say it was originally about claiming grazing rights, but nowadays it's classified as an extreme sport. The cheese can reach up to 70 miles an hour, so thankfully I'm just on my training slope today. And the prize? Why, the giant cheese, of course.
As a 22 times champion, what are the attributes that you need in order to be good at cheese rolling?
So quick on your feet. Being able to bounce well is good.
Bounce well.
Obviously have a good strategy of how you're going to roll and when you're going to roll if you can control it.
So you don't just run, you roll?
Yeah, so because it's so steep, I try to put a roll or 2 in to slow myself down.
Slow yourself down.
Well, that's not the kind of cheese roll I was expecting today.
Cheese goes on 3, runners go on 4. Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm ready.
Yep.
You said something that has been bothering me a little bit, Chris. Could you show me what you meant by a roll?
Yep. How's that?
I mean, it was great. Can you do a role of your own improvisation, though? Does it need to be? Because that was very professional.
It's however you feel comfortable.
Okay, so I would probably do that.
OK, maybe I'll give that one more go.
Right, I'll try and do it better, and I'll try and spring up this time, right? Okay? Okay, so I'm down, I'm round, and I'm back up, and I'm down the hill. Yeah?
That was quicker.
Better? Yeah. That was so Alan Partridge. I've rolled, I'm down, I'm back up again. Right.
Rolling technique mastered, almost. It's time to watch the master at work.
3 for the cheese, 4 to go. There is he's off. He's quick. I mean, he's going to get that. Oh, God. Oh, I thought he'd fallen. He hadn't. It's a roll. He's fast. See, it's quite intimidating.
It's a hard act to follow, but what I need to remind myself is I've been training for this for a whole 20 minutes. I'm ready to chase the cheese.
1 to be ready.
Yeah.
2 to be steady. 3 for the cheese. And 4 to be off.
I went a bit early. I make no excuses. I make no excuses. Oh, you get quite fast, don't you? You get quite fast. You get quite... That's the cheese. Caught it.
I came, I conquered like a nimble ninja mountain goat. But going forward, I might just stick to a traditional cheese board.
I don't feel like we should race against each other today. So I thought instead we should just share the prize together. Would that be okay?
It would be, but I don't really like cheese.
What do you do when you win it then?
Give it to me parents, around the family.
Well, that means more cheese for me. After all, I do feel I've earned it. I've had a lovely time pondering some of the amazing grand days out Helen and I have experienced. I always love being in the countryside, and exploring Hopetoun House has been a delight.
Did you have a nice rest, Helen? Good, yeah. Don't worry, I got in the steps for both of us. What have I done? Well, saw some grandeur, stepped back in time, helped some frogs, and yes, it is indeed a fine stately home. See, the thing is that Helen and I both love is wherever you are, whether it be a local park or a grand country estate, you know, the great outdoors, it's for everyone.
Hopefully, Helen and I still have many more adventures ahead in the stunning British countryside.
I've got a quick puzzle for you. If this clock was in the mirror, what time would it be? Not so easy under pressure. Your time is almost up. The answer's 5:10. Want more? Come and get your puzzle fix in brand new puzzling.
Yes, discover who's the brainiac in your home. Don't miss Puzzling, brand new Thursday at 8. Coming next, the world's most scenic railway journey in Italy.